Okay, good morning. So, it's a new week, same engine. We got to change a little bit of things here. This engine is a rear sump for the oil pan. After taking a few measurements and looking at some stuff, we're not going to be able to clear the diff with that oil pan on. So, luckily, I'm an engine hoarder. I have another UZ. This right here, that's a 1UZ V8. And I took the oil pan off of it. This engine right here, as you can see, has gotten water in it. It was in a flood. I got it for free, and I'm using this engine for parts. So, off the LS400s, the early LS400s, it came with a front sump oil pan. Now all the UZ engines for the 1UZ, 2UZ, 3UZ, these will all interchange. So we're gonna pull this pan off. We're gonna put that pan on here, and then I also have the actual pan, the lower pan. I painted it and got it all looking a little bit nicer. And then I already resurfaced right here. I resurfaced everything, so it's all good to go. We're just gonna give it another wash, probably spray some brake clean it up a little bit better, and then we're all good. There's a couple different things on this, on these pans, and I can show that to you guys later on. Okay, so first steps first. Whenever you're gonna take your sump off, or just your oil pan. This is the lower oil pan, and this is the, I guess, the sump. I don't know. Anyway, whenever you're gonna take off your oil pan or oil sump, make sure you drain the oil. I have a bucket that I used to drain oil in. I have 3 cars that I'm building, so I go through a lot of oil. So we're gonna just drain this, and we're gonna try and not get it on my fingers. Very nice. So we're gonna let that drain out, and then probably start taking out coolant. I'm pretty sure I've drained the block already, but we're gonna have to take out a little more coolant. I don't want it going all over the floor. But yeah, let's get to it. Good one. Okay, so we got the V8 turned over, and all we have to do now is we're just gonna unbolt all these bolts here, and then yeah, get the old front sump on. So we're gonna unbolt the pan first, and then we're gonna go ahead and unbolt the lower sump, clean it all up, and then transfer the new one on. Alright, now that you guys can see pretty good, I'm gonna pull this whole thing off, and the oil pickup should stay, I believe. So let's pull this whole guy off. Yep. There we go. For obvious reasons, right? So I keep one hand on the bolt or nut. You don't want it to fall in your engine. Obviously, you're in a pretty good position that you can fish it out, but you don't want to be sitting here fishing out a bolt. That just sucks. That's just not fun for anybody. So I'm gonna take out this pickup tube, and this pickup tube down here is pretty hard. So I grab a magnet just because you don't want it falling down in that depth. Because that always sucks. Whenever it does that, it sucks. So we're just gonna keep that magnet on there. There we go. And then we're gonna just take this guy right here. That one we can grab. We're just gonna pull this guy off. And there you have it. That's one pickup tube, and that engine is done. We're just gonna make this surface nice again, and we're gonna get this going. Our recording. Oh shit. Okay, so we're gonna put on the front sump oil pickup. This one just bolts in just like that, and you're done. However, one thing you need to be worried about is there is a gasket here. Unfortunately, I can't find the gasket, so I'm gonna have to use RTV. If you're gonna use RTV, you need to be very, very, very sparingly. Like I'm like a very small amount on here. You do not want RTV getting into your oil pump. It'll clog shit up. So go very sparingly. I'm only gonna put a dot on each side, and I'm gonna smear it on. That way when you tighten it, not a lot will come out in the center section. Definitely be sparing when you're doing this. So that's how much I put on right there. And all I'm gonna do is just barely do a skim coat on that. You do not need a lot. You don't want a lot. Any kind of, you really should be using a gasket for this, but unfortunately I do not have one. So we have to use what'll work. This will work, but you need to be very sparing. Don't want to use a lot of this stuff. You can really do some damage. That's also why when you do start your car, make sure you have an oil pressure gauge. You definitely want to be looking at oil pressure when you're starting your vehicle, because if this clogs something up, you're gonna have a really bad day. So there you go. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's like barely on there. It's like a skim coat. That'll be fine. You shouldn't cause any kind of issues. And we're just gonna simply just put that on, just like so. We're just gonna bolt these guys on right here. There we go. Put this guy on. There you go for that. Good deal. Now we're just gonna put this oil pan back on. I already have all the sealer on it, so we are just gonna slide this guy on here. As so. What am I stuck on over here? Yeah, there we go. This side as well. This AC hose has been. Make sure it's nice and tight all the way down. Alright, cool. So that is done. I just got back from lunch. Back on. We are all good to go. We got the lower sump on. Got the pan. This is now converted to a front sump. So this should fit in there, hopefully. Up next is I'm just flip this engine back around, and then we're gonna go to fitting the engine, and that's pretty much about it. See if the mounts I made are gonna work. I'm using the LS 400 mounts, and I think it's like 92 pickup mounts. So we're gonna see how this works, but yeah, we're gonna clean up a little more stuff, and we're gonna get this engine flipped back over and try and put it in the 4Runner and see what our fitment's looking like. Okay, and one last thing that I just did was I put on the dipstick. You gotta make sure you know what your oil's at. If not, you're gonna have a bad time. But here we go. As you guys can see, if we go down here, it is now in a front sump orientation, so that should fit my front diff. Okay, so the V8 is in, and it is sitting pretty good. Looks nice. So the one thing I do know is I'm gonna make some mounts. That's gonna take me some time, and then probably do a little bit of firewall bashing just to make some more space. Other than that, it looks like she's gonna fit. So I think we're good. Should have just enough space for a radiator, so yeah, I think that's where we're gonna be at. Got the old engine mounts cut off on both sides, cut and grinded those off, and we also made up some engine mounts, 1/4 inch thick steel. Those should do the job. But yeah, gonna see if I can get this girl mounted in there, but I think everything should be okay. Everything else clears. So okay, so that's gonna be it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna go ahead and try and get the engine mounted and see if we can even get the transmission mounted tomorrow. Hopefully, as long as everything goes to plan, this V8 should be connected to that transmission sitting into that bay. But until then, I'll see you guys till next time.